Greetings, geeks, and welcome to another exciting episode of Geeks in Space. This is episode 434. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am here with three of the finest geeks who you will ever meet pretending to be in low Earth orbit when they're actually in quarantine. I got a special guest today. I got Cliff Lampe.
Howdy.
And I got Chris DeBona.
Hello.
And last for reasons, Rob Roseboom.
Yeah, I was going to say last again, I see. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, your face right now is conveniently overlaid with a URL from Mr. Chris DeBona, so I can't even see you. I have to just use my imagination to see what you look like.
Oh, that's actually a tattoo.
Oh,
I'm so confused.
that's fair.
That's a great idea, actually. That could be the future of this kind of new virtual meeting, is like personalized ad space on my forehead. So like I've been joking around with my students that this lecture brought to you by Monster energy drinks or whatever, as I drink a can. If I like sold, like I have a giant forehead, so if I sold ad space on my forehead, that could totally work.
You like that pixel, the guy who sold the million pixels?
Yeah.
This is going to work out well, and I'm excited. If the bidding is starting at a low rate, I will buy a pixel. All right. What sorts of fun are we having today? How are you, Cliff? I haven't seen you in probably since last time you were here.
Yeah. I am all quarantined up like the rest of America, except for the South. So don't
worry. It turns out that they have enough comorbidity down there that they're going to be fine. They all got the Monty Burns disease.
Yeah, they've put up the rising again until next year.
That's right.
Things are bad.
I'm sorry. COVID's going to go through the South like a pig through an oil field. Just
I heard somebody call it the invisible Sherman on one of the.
That's
super dark.
Sorry for all of our
better than
listeners.
Boomer Flu.
Well, earlier this week, the governor of Georgia just said that he did not know that COVID could be passed along if people weren't showing signs of it. So that's the level of science and medical knowledge we're dealing with. So
apparently,
humas. Yeah, sorry, God.
You and my conservative friends in Georgia were like, "What the what?"
Right. Like I understand if you think that. Like you've looked at the percentages and you think that, only 50,000 people are going to die. And like, if you have somehow made that mental math, then I guess I can't argue with you. But if you don't know that asymptomatic people can spread this disease, then that just means you haven't even looked.
Right. Hopefully for the sake of those people and really the whole nation, everyone sort of comes to accord and we all follow the same standards pretty soon, because right now, it's a little bit like having a no peeing section in the pool.
Exactly.
It doesn't really work. So,
yeah.
Goddamn, Louisiana been peeing in the pool all year.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, we really can't say a lot because, Detroit, we're going to do our best. I was disappointed, though, in Detroit because we are now number 4. California, you squeezed ahead of us in total infections, but Michigan is still got you for deaths.
Well, I should point out I am very Californian, so I want California to be the best state. I want us to kill the most people. No, wait, this is going in the wrong direction. Per capita, Michigan is still kicking our butt.
Oh,
like if per 100,000 residents. Like y'all are like the South.
Yeah.
The South's temperature will rise again. It's not going well. And I have a lot of sympathy because Whitmer is doing all the right things, it seems. And she didn't seem to wait too long for shelter in place, did she?
No, Whitmer was way ahead of the game.
She did not, but the same reasons Michigan's facing this are the same reasons the South is because of the comorbidities, right? Like high prevalence of diabetes,
poverty, man. It's poverty,
obesity, which I'm on team obesity over here, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's like, yeah.
I might technically still be on team obesity, but I have absolutely
come on, Rob.
all of this.
How? There's no.
If you are, you're on the bench.
Okay, but this goes back to the same thing. We've talked about this before. Our short tree friend, tree loving friend, he like has so much body mass that depending on what chart you're looking at, he registers too. I've got a spare tire, but my spare tire is diminished, having primarily been living on crackers.
I have a spare tire factory, Mr. Maldo. So it's like, I'm like one of those dualies, with the extra wheel, in the back. Anyway.
I'm actually pretty worried about Florida. I got family down there, and
you should be.
Yeah, no, and they're staying inside, but I don't think they're taking it particularly seriously, and
I think Florida's going to burn. I mean, it's like their unemployment system was specifically designed to fail, right? The governor of Florida specifically designed the unemployment system down there to not work well, and now it's having to scale up in ways that are amazing. There's a strong geeky technical story here, right? Which is infrastructural IT services that are not designed for emergency situations are going to cause another wave of disastrous results coming up here.
It's interesting because in the same way, I guess, that Puerto Rico has been such a weird financial haven for so many companies, and then we watched a hurricane cause all of that to fall apart. Florida's got the same thing. Their tax policies and their climate really encourages retirees, and this is gonna wreck that place.
It's gonna be murder.
Nothing like a good natural disaster to make everybody into Bernie Bros, right?
That's right. Hey, I have 2 pieces of news that I'm excited about.
Okay.
That I can share that might give joy and sunshine to the people in this room. First of all, the new season of Harley Quinn is supposed to start today.
The comic, not the horrific movie.
Not the movie. They apparently did 26 out of 24 episodes in the run and split it into 2 seasons. And I don't know if this was the original plan, but regardless, we should have a new episode of Harley Quinn later today. And that's hands down the best thing happening in the DC universe.
The only reason I still have my DC Universe subscription, basically, is the Harley Quinn and the tease of the second season of what's the good one? Yeah, so that's a good show. Lake Bell, I'm surprised at how influential Lake Bell has been as a creator for that Harley Quinn series.
Bell, the woman?
Yeah, she plays the Poison Ivy voice and is one of the creative minds behind the series and everything. So that's sweet. Given everything else she's made, I really hate. So that's nice.
Oh, really? You hate her other stuff?
What's your crap?
Is it her name? Is it that she was they tried to name a Great Lake after her?
No, she's in this kind of mediocre series with Dax Shepard where she moves, she's a New Yorker who moves out to the country kind of thing. And it's a current Hulu comedy series that's really mediocre. So it's just funny to me to see her do, and she's the executive director of that too. So it's funny for me to see her do this really lame standard serial comedy and then this kind of edgy, fun cartoon version of Harley Quinn. So
yeah, I remember seeing her in something. I'm thinking, she's all right. It's not important that we talk about it. Yeah. So that's
good. The other one that I'm looking forward.
I think that Dax Shepard is a mixed bag too.
For sure.
Every once in a while I'll do something. I'm like, oh, he's pretty funny, he's enjoyable, and then you're like, he's going pretty far with that. I don't know.
I don't know. The Harley Quinn show has 5 of the best episodes of animated TV that I've seen. It's also the middle of it. The wheels fell off for a while, but I'll take it right now. I need anything that's going to make me happy. It turns out cartoon characters swearing is pretty high on the list. The other one that I'm looking forward to, and I might be the only one on this channel that actually cares, but Future Man, they're starting their new season. They did an Amazon dump, so it's the whole thing, the whole season, and I like that show. I think that show is really has fun with the sci-fi tropes.
I tried. I watched a couple episodes and just could not get into it.
That's fair.
Maybe it's just because that one kid bothers me so much.
He's hard, but that's definitely a show where the supporting cast is really the main things. The two folks from the future, they just crack me up, and like the way that they in the first season, the way that they act in order to explain, like you're supposed to extrapolate what their future looks like. I just find that to just be next level funny. And then in the second season, when they actually spend time in the future, I think that is just the way they did their future is great. I love that show. I think it's really funny.
I mean, speaking of shows, I know you guys are sick of dunking on Picard.
Oh no,
I have.
Oh no,
we're bottomless pits.
I caught up, and I have a new complaint that I haven't seen anybody else mention.
Bring it.
Which is the stupidness of all of their user interfaces, right? Like,
so I don't know if you know. Clampy, but I dislocated my shoulder on the 1st of January, and I'm still going through, PT and everything. And I'm watching these people, like, and I'm like going, that looks like it hurts, and I'm just like, I'm like, this is the dumbest UI. And like, imagine you're on a starship that has a lot of exploding consoles, right? You think the little laser projector is not the first thing that's going to eat it?
Right.
Please. And it's going to send sparks at your fingers, and you'll be like, "Oh, my fingers are all sparky now."
And I get it. I get that command line interface wouldn't make an awesome like visual storytelling device, but so bad. All of it was so bad.
What kills me is Picard himself spends fairly significant amounts of time, as far as I can tell, in the holodeck of their little garbage scow ship that they're flying around. So he can theoretically like walk down the hall and be sitting in a holodeck, which means why do you got Allison Pill sitting in the front of the screen doing this? Like, don't you think that maybe holodeck technology could produce for you literally any interface that's better than this stupid thing?
Yep. So there's my dunk on Picard. That was my very specific nerdy like annoyance of it was just their interfaces are really bad.
They're terrible.
We hate them because they'll always be stronger than us. I did catch up on Devs. We were talking about that last night. I was glad
there was one last night. I haven't seen it yet. So.
All right. This last night's episode was better than the previous one, which we previously kvetched about. It was this one was a little better, but it didn't have gratuitous torture, which I mean, in my household, if you're gonna have gratuitous torture, that just means Kat's gonna go up and make snacks, and then she's gonna ask me what happened.
I'm not sure that torture was gratuitous, to tell you the truth. But
I mean, it was like a finger.
To each his own. Yeah.
Well, we all have extra fingers. I mean,
and I think it's expressed.
Maybe 3 of them.
It's in there to show exactly how far and how dark that character is.
I agree.
Kenton's pretty dark. Let me just say.
Yeah. Sure. And they're going out of their way to make him crazier and crazier with every episode, and I get it. I see what you're doing here, show, but you don't need to do that. You can. I mean, it's possible for you to show a TV show that's not that much on screen.
And I think you do have to show that. So I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on that point.
It's like when Little House will every now and then throw in a sexual assault episode, right? Just to keep you on your toes.
Yep.
Wait, what? I know the gal went blind. I didn't know it was from like some sexual thing.
Like Little House, every 4th or 5th episode of Little House on the Prairie is some like super dramatic, like traumatic thing, right? Like one of which was like a sexual assault storyline. There's like a cocaine abuse storyline, child death storyline. Wait,
we're talking about Little House on the Prairie?
Oh yeah,
right.
Be careful. We've got like 10 minutes left. Cliff will take it all for Little House.
There's an episode. There's an episode where a bunch of people think Jews have horns.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that was the plains, that's how these people are,
There's a lot of dark storylines in that show.
But mostly
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about the one with John Boy in it, right? We're talking about Little House on Right. You'd think the Waltons would have a lot more racist storylines, I mean,
they have a few.
Yeah?
A few, but the Waltons were surprisingly progressive. Like I think of the Waltons always as a subversive storyline where they're trying to promote progressive values through the lens of a conservative mountain family.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think about it that much.
I'm like,
academics.
And this is why Clampe has a PhD. I'm just picturing your defense.
This is only like week 3 of the quarantine, right? So maybe next week I'll start thinking about it.
I'll post up on Taco Zone my dissertation on the Waltons versus Little House and progressive tropes in 70s family-oriented television shows.
What I'm hoping is that Cliff recorded his PhD dissertation defense on the impact of the Waltons on library sciences.
So yeah, Devs this week is better than last week and has a bunch of sort of filling in the story to it like last week did, just in a way that's much more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, now you kind of like, okay, I see where you're going now. You got about 3 directions you can go. You know, I'll enjoy it. Rob, I put for you up on Taco Zone a pretty exciting breakthrough story for you. Did you see that? Did you see the real fishing VR support?
No,
I saw that.
So the virtual reality game Real Fishing now has streaming support, and they demonstrated it with Plex. So you can theoretically go pretend fishing while you have Plex superimposed over your skyline. So you can do your 2 favorite things by pretend.
And what was the show on the Plex in the stream?
Yeah, that's a masochist right there.
It was Picard. They're calling you out, Mr. Roseboom. They're calling you out. They task you. They do.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
I imagine you don't have a virtual reality headset available to you right now.
No, but I mean, you could go out. I could say it's, you know, I need it like I need milk and eggs.
Right, it's
if
essential.
I get stopped, right.
I had a weird fishing related thing. Yesterday, I took a really long walk in my neighborhood, and I live on sort of a pond stream thing. And there was a woman parked like on the bridge. And I'm like, oh, that's fine, whatever. Be parked on the bridge, I don't care. But she didn't have the neighborhood sticker, which is always a little weird. And I'm like, all right, fine, that's fine. People come here and they fish. And there's a kid down fishing. I'm like, cool. Well, she's taking her kid fishing. And I'm like waving and try to establish eye contact. And she is very intentionally not looking at me. So I'm like, well, okay, she's probably not from the neighborhood and isn't supposed to be here because technically whatever, blah, 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 who cares? But I can imagine people doing that. And then I go down and her kid is just sitting down there fishing. And I'm like, well, that's great. You know, but so, I mean, so I'm extrapolating all of these pieces together. And I think that she's embarrassed for taking her kid fishing, maybe because she isn't supposed to be in this neighborhood, maybe, or she's too far from her house for this to be essential. And that was just a really weird experience.
See, in my family history, that's where the parent drives away and tries to never come back.
Right? Like, I'm just gonna go for some smokes
and teaches you responsibility.
Right. Like
Cliff and I had very similar upbringings that way.
If you can make your way home, you deserve a home.
Yeah. We're teaching you independence.
Harsh.
I mean, sure, we left you on the side of the road in the middle of Michigan, but you know.
I felt bad too because the kid was fishing at a spot where you're never going to catch a fish. If you were just walk like 100 feet down the path, you can actually catch fish. But you know, I imagine that he had to
tell him, or
I did, and I'm like, but I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of stuff like right now, like because of all the weird social distance rules. Like one of my neighbors was walking down my path picking the garlic sprouts or whatever, and like we wave, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And like, but he's deaf, so I think that he might have thought we were yelling at him to get off of our lawn, even though it's not our lawn. It's a public path. Like I think people are being really weird right now. Can't figure out why.
I tried to kiss a lady at Meyer the other day, and she totally ran away.
Yeah.
Just like on the cheek or on the lips?
On the lips, but I mean.
Wait.
Well, there you go. That's the problem.
I'm not symptomatic. Like, I'm
Right.
healthy.
And it wasn't your wife. It was just a random.
Like, well, I mean,
she's been rejecting you for years.
Right.
She was asking for it.
Yeah, just someone who looked like they needed to be kissed. I get it.
She looked lonely.
4 white guys. Let's see. SpaceX lost another prototype.
I see that.
They done blown another one up.
They've lost a few.
This is another one of the chrome, looking ones.
So so a lot of the billionaires, I feel like, are letting us down right now, right? Like,
none of them have turned into Batman.
None of them have turned into Batman or like, done anything.
Didn't I thought Bill gave a whole bunch of money.
There we go. He'd be the one.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
So through the foundation, they've been doing testing in Seattle, I heard too. So.
Yeah.
I think Bezos started a GoFundMe for his workers.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
He asked us all to join his Patreon to support his dock workers, warehouse workers.
He's like, the best way to help my workers is to order more crap on Amazon.
Yeah, you can put a little checkbox where you can pay an extra $5 to your order to help the workers out.
Guys, he's going to be live streaming. He's going to be playing Super Mario Brothers, and if you give money to the workers, he'll say your name.
Sweet.
I don't know if you're joking or not.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yep.
Here's the thing about Bezos, he kind of never disappoints, right? He's always going to do the thing that's best for Bezos, right? And so long as you understand that, there's no surprises from that guy, Sure. So, I mean, I hate to say it, he's living his truth. He's living his, it's like, okay, well, I get it.
Well, that's why I wish Musk would just live his truth, right, and go full Bond villain, right? Like he could also have a Patreon. Welcome to my island where I hunt humans, and like just
I don't know. I kind of feel like he's almost living his truth. He's right on the edge of it there,
Right.
Well, what's funny
he's
about
done some crazy stuff.
Yeah. No, Musk he's such a weirdo. I can't. Yeah, he's such a weirdo.
Well, I mean, now he's all tied up in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. Now, I mean, he's having all kinds.
He was dating Amber after she did whatever to Johnny Depp. I mean, I have to say, Johnny Depp is coming out of this looking pretty good. I mean, because I sort of assumed that he was just an awful person. Because it's a Hollywood guy. And also his performance in his uploading movie, Transcendence.
Oh, that's
terrible. Oh, it's a terror, and it could have been a good movie. I mean, it had some good actors in it. It had Paul Bettany. It had the woman whose name I forget, but she's great. And like, is she from Michigan? That totally makes sense.
No, I was being political.
And then it's just terrible. And the entire time his affect is and then all this stuff came out about Amber Heard. I'm like, well, he's clearly a terrible person. I mean, did you see Transcendence? And then it turns out that she was the wackadoo the whole time, which is really weird, right?
I think that's just
but what did Musk
new acting style? Like that was how he was in The Tourist too, which oddly also had Paul Bettany. But like that was just such a dog crap of a movie. Like it was Oh, speaking of other movies to dunk on, you guys see The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie?
No, is that horrible?
It's horrible. No, it's horrible.
It's on my to-do list.
Horrible. Snatch is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that movie. But Guy Ritchie, for the last 5 to 10 years, I think post Madonna, just has lost his way. He's lost.
I don't know, man. I really thought that his take on Aladdin was really great.
What about his take on King Arthur? Did any of you see that? Yeah.
Yes, I did. Hard to watch. That was hard to watch. Much like our friend Mr. Mulder here, I am a connoisseur of terrible movies, and these are pretty bad.
It's true. Let's see. I made it through Blade 2. It's been going back through my bad movie archives now. I was super bummed because this week's How Did This Get Made movie is going to be Valerian, and I've already heard that episode. They're doing a rerun episode of a podcast. That seems in poor taste.
I don't like when people do that.
We should rerun this episode like 6 times.
Valerian is a terrible movie, so it's probably worth
is.
2 takes on why it's so bad.
Although best production design imaginable, man.
Fantastic looking, but yeah, they just also, I think that the main lead character,
Valerian.
No, the guy playing Valerian, he made Johnny Depp in Transcendence look terrific. I mean, he was just terrible. And also his eyes, I thought he was sick the whole time.
Yeah.
Or like on heroin or
like
something.
An allergic reaction to something.
Like, yeah, because his eyes were like really red. I mean, I don't mean like the eyeballs, I mean like the area around. I'm like, dude, you're not well, Go.
We just rewatched The Fifth Element, which is of course
movie.
Which is of course his second best movie. And it's just funny to think, like, if you take that,
I don't know.
You don't like The Professional?
It might be his third best movie.
You like Lucy?
The Professional? No. And La Femme Nikita.
That's true. I like, I'll put those. It's okay. I like it.
I adore La Femme Nikita. So I would go La Femme Nikita, Professional, and then The Fifth Element. Yeah, that's how I do it. Although
I gotta say now, in the last year, I've rewatched The Professional and The Fifth Element, and at this point, I would put The Fifth Element higher, but only because it's one of those things where it's so weird, and the fact that the parts, like what we did was we skipped the first 20 minutes in the ancient Egypt or whatever, and just started 20 minutes in. And what's great about it is, like, every 10 minutes you get a new thing added into the movie, and you're just like, oh yeah, I forgot this guy's in this movie. It's great. And it just happens every 10 minutes, that whole movie.
Yeah. And it's funny because Luc Besson, he also did this movie Anna, which is basically a remake of La Femme Nikita.
God, that's terrible too. That's also really bad.
So bad. Like, how did he do La Femme Nikita so well and The Professional so well? And Anna came out and you're like, oh, this is terrible. Yep. I mean, it's not good. And they try to play games with narrative structure and time. Mm-hmm. And it just comes across as weak.
Yeah.
Turns out that there's 1,000 different moving parts when you're making a movie, and any one of them goes bad and the whole thing goes bad.
Yeah, or any 12 of them go bad.
Right.
That was the thing about Lucy too. Lucy has at least enough good things in it for it to be an enjoyable watch. It's a flawed movie, but it's got 20 minutes of some of the coolest filming you're ever going to see.
Yeah, it's true.
And Scarlett Johansson's a much better actor than whoever the wafy one they had in Anna was.
So yeah. So also in Valerian, has Cara Delevingne or whatever her name is been? Has she been in any good movies? Like, also, I mean, she was also one of the worst parts of Suicide Squad, right? Yeah.
I have a hard time blaming anyone for Suicide Squad. I mean, it's just.
I actually didn't write her performance.
Even though Joel Kinnaman does kill movies, just for the record. But like, so what has she been in? She was in
the one with Orlando Bloom, that Amazon series that's kind of
any good?
Steampunk. As a series, no, but her performance in it's actually fairly good.
I think she's getting better, and I think she's getting better. If you start at the bottom and work your way up, you're like, and then you're like,
You're talking about Carnival Row?
Yeah.
I didn't watch Carnival Row because it's exactly the kind of fantasy that I can't stop rolling my eyes. Wow.
It's very sort of hit and miss.
Her name is Vignette Stonemoss. It's like, okay, I get it. It's
she's a fairy.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Of course.
The political allegories are a little too on the nose in that one too. I think, like, we get it.
She hasn't actually been in all that.
Tourmaline LaRue.
She hasn't been in much stuff, actually. She's like, her acting list has got a lot of music videos and voice work in it too. And there's literally nothing in there that I would classify as like good.
Very cool monster. Very cool monster in Carnival Row, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Carnival Row is a bit like Lucy, right? There's like portions of it that are fantastic and some really cool concepts and everything. Just, it was about 3 times longer than it needed to be to tell the story that it told.
Gentlemen, do we have anything else exciting that we want to share with the audience as we've hit the 29-minute mark?
I feel like you should have something positive, though. We've been like old man bad mouthing so much stuff for the past 20 minutes.
Well, okay. Let's leave on a positive, man. Let's find some good stuff. Tell us what's some good media. We got all this extra time.
This weekend, one of the local orchards is opening up the whole orchard to the public. So we're going to go and check it out, walk down a little bit of nature. Hopefully it won't be too busy because they're restricting how many people can walk through the orchard at one time, and pick up some cider. So there we go. We'll see how that goes.
Onward is on Disney Plus, and that's a lovely little film if you haven't seen it yet. I know you have, Rob. Like, what am I thinking? But
so I've been using this charcoal, and when you burn it, it leaves almost no ash. It's amazing. It's basically like compressed Thai-style charcoal. I love this stuff.
That's the most California thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
What, that I have artisanal charcoal? No, I'm starting on my whole grill. I'm painting my grill with
here in Michigan, we just started a good tire fire and cook our food over that.
Then if you're fancy, you go and buy them briquettes.
I got a whole garage full and a trunk full of firewood.
We just go back to the burn barrel, throw a grate over it.
I want to show you what one of them looks like. Oh, wow. I mean, these are beautiful. I can't tell you how great they are.
Does it tell you which end to light? Oh, look at that.
There's like a hole through the middle.
That looks like I could turn it into a pen.
You could. No, you couldn't. It would fall apart. But
I might have to cast it into resin.
No, there's a How It's Made actually about these particular kinds of charcoal briquettes too, by the way. So we were talking about How It's Made, Cliffy. And like one of the things they do on How It's Made is you can tell what country they're in a season because they visit all the same like kind of things. So they had like Thai barbecues, Thai charcoal, Thai fish sauce. It's a great season. It was like I think it was 2016 when they were in Thailand, or 2015. Anyway, so I had already discovered this charcoal, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's about my charcoal!" I was so happy.
My charcoal is famous. I'm writing that down. Chris, you only use famous charcoal.
Well, famous to me. How it's made famous. It's not like Johnny Depp and Elon Musk having sex with the same woman. Famous,
right?
That's hot. That's hot. Well, I'll be watching Future Man and Harley Quinn because and I need to laugh. I need some laughter, man.
Once I'm done with the orchard, I'm gonna start following Chris's charcoal online. And,
right? Does it start tweeting? Like, guys, stop burning me. This is hot.
Check out its Instagram, see what's going on with it.
Yeah. Well, you actually can. So it's made by a group out of Portland's Pok Pok, which is this fantastic restaurant run by Andy Richter. Anyway, so yes, it's all social media'd up. But yeah.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Gentlemen, this has been episode 434 of Geeks in Space. I'm going to thank our special guest, Cliff Lampe.
I am special.
Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
Chris DeBona.
It's also a great time to get deals on Craigslist.
Dude.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. Stay safe, stay warm, wash your hands.